So the Colts have fever players out. Sophie was not there, but they give everyone jerseys. And Caitlin Clark, grew up in Iowa, is a Chiefs fan, refused to wear the Colts jersey. She just held it up like this. And she hasn't gone out and said, like, I didn't do it because I'm a Chiefs fan, but the internet was like, she's a real one.
I love it.
And it's just...
A seismic tremor has just detonated at the heart of the WNBA, threatening to tear apart the glittering empire it's only just begun to build. Whispers turned into shouts, and now alleged confirmations swirl, hinting at the unthinkable. The league's brightest, boldest, and most bankable star, Caitlin Clark, might actually be done with the WNBA. The report? Allegedly straight from her own head coach, Stephanie White, whose offhand comments about Clark's name coming up in CBA talks have ignited a firestorm of disbelief. The tone, the context, the wording, everything has fans asking, did her coach just hint that Clark's journey might be over? The question sounds absurd, yet it's spreading like wildfire. Could the player who single-handedly dragged women's basketball into the global spotlight really be walking away? The very thought borders on blasphemy, but the headlines scream otherwise, and everyone's desperate to know the truth. Is the WNBA's brightest flame already flickering out? Clark's arrival wasn't just a sports story, it was a cultural detonation. From small-town Iowa to the national stage, she obliterated records, rewrote history, and turned women's hoops into a must-watch phenomenon. Her college dominance morphed into pro-level spectacle, packing arenas, breaking TV records, and selling out merchandise faster than the league could restock. Her name wasn't just in the news, it was the news. She wasn't a player. She was the movement, the messiah of modern women's basketball. Every camera flash, every hot take, every tweet revolved around her. But with fame came the crushing weight of expectation, a rookie shouldering the burden of a league's survival. Her success became the WNBA's currency, and the price was her peace. Then came the reality check. The WNBA isn't a welcome parade, it's a war zone. Clark was immediately met with double teams, elbows, traps, and a physicality that bordered on hostile. The star who once glided through college defenses suddenly found herself sprawled on hardwood, learning that welcome to the pros hits harder when it's literal. The spotlight turned ruthless, analysts nitpicking every turnover, rivals mocking every miss, pundits dissecting every interview. The golden child of college basketball had stepped into a world where adoration comes second to survival. Stephanie White, herself a league veteran, admitted it bluntly in a recent interview. Clark's become a pawn in narratives bigger than basketball. She's a 23-year-old phenom navigating not just the game, but the politics, the noise, and the unforgiving culture that comes with superstardom. White called it growing pains, a byproduct of the WNBA's transformation into a mainstream entertainment brand but her tone carried a weight that fans didn't miss. As Clark's jersey sales broke records and her name trended daily, the grind behind the glamour became painfully visible. Constant travel, endless interviews, body bruised, mind exhausted. The cameras saw the highlight reels. They didn't see the toll, and soon whispers began to echo. Could she really sustain this? How long before burnout or worse, breakdown? Social media amplified every rumor. Clark looks drained. She's frustrated. She's thinking about stepping away. None of it confirmed, all of it viral. And the silence from Clark herself only made it louder. Analysts cited mental fatigue, pointing to elite athletes across sports who've cracked under similar pressure. Fans speculated endlessly, dissecting every gesture, every quote, every non-answer. Through it all, Stephanie White has remained the calm in the chaos. A former player who knows exactly how brutal the league can be, she's been Clark's anchor, preaching patience, protection, and perspective. Her repeated message: development takes time, rest is essential, and player welfare must come first. But in a league hungry for spectacle, rest sounds like rebellion. So now, the million-dollar question hangs over the WNBA like a storm cloud. Is Caitlin Clark truly walking away, or is this just another media-made meltdown? One thing's certain. If the league's brightest star even considers stepping back, the aftershocks could shake women's basketball to its core, career path. She's teased the long game, stressing that one season, no matter how historic, is merely the opening act of a far greater, lasting saga. Stephanie White has often stood as the calm center in the storm, deftly steering through the blinding media glare and physical strain surrounding her star, revealing glimpses of the delicate dance between unleashing a player's full potential and protecting her from burnout. Each of her public remarks has been dissected, debated, and, as we'd soon witness, wildly distorted. So when the explosive rumor erupted that White had officially confirmed Caitlin Clark was finished with the WNBA, it didn't just make the rounds, it detonated like a bomb across the entire sports universe. Fans were stunned. Analysts sparred on air, and social media erupted into chaos, an unstoppable storm of shock, anger, and feverish speculation. The story caught fire instantly, fanned by sensational headlines and baseless insider claims. Hashtags dominated timelines. Outrage flooded the internet, and the WNBA's newly reborn empire trembled under the weight of disbelief. How could this possibly be true? It felt like a betrayal of everything Clark had come to symbolize, a cruel, premature ending to a legend still being written. But as always, when the hysteria settles, truth emerges quietly from the wreckage. While the internet, drunk on drama, devoured the shocking headline, a careful breakdown of White's actual comments revealed something entirely different. There was no bombshell announcement, no career-ending revelation, no signal of Clark abandoning her WNBA journey. What the coach had really outlined, in a thoughtful, strategic discussion about player recovery and off-season planning, was that Clark would wrap up her demanding summer schedule and finally receive an extended, desperately needed stretch of rest. White emphasized her star's need to recharge both body and mind, hinting at scaling back non-essential appearances and side commitments to preserve her for seasons ahead. It wasn't retirement, it was recovery. A long-term play for sustained dominance, not a farewell tour. But in true internet fashion, context got chewed up and spit out as chaos. What began as a clear-headed coaching update mutated into a click-chasing frenzy, twisted headlines turning prudence into panic. The aftermath was pure spectacle, outlets rushing to break the news without fact-checking, triggering waves of fury, think pieces, and damage control. Fans mourned, raged, and rallied to Clark's defense, blasting the WNBA the fever, and even White herself for supposedly letting their crown jewel slip away. The wildfire of misinformation became a brutal reminder of how easily a soundbite can be stripped of truth when the subject is a megastar like Caitlin Clark. Soon, the story stopped being about what White actually said. It became a case study in modern outrage, proof that online audiences would rather feast on frenzy than facts. Context was buried under hashtags, nuance trampled by adrenaline. Everyone raced to post first, not to get it right. And through it all, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White remained unshaken, a quiet constant in the chaos, the steady voice guiding Clark through the storm of her tumultuous rookie year. To grasp the weight of her words and the intent behind her actions, one must first look deeper into Stephanie White's roots and coaching philosophy, because they hold the key to understanding her leadership. A former WNBA player herself, White knows the league's grind inside and out, having endured its physical toll and mental strain firsthand. That experience forged in her a rare empathy, a deep understanding of what her athletes, especially a rookie phenomenon like Caitlin Clark, truly endure. Her approach to coaching extends far beyond tactics or playbooks. It's built on a foundation of player welfare, sustainable growth, and mental fortitude. She champions patience, calculated strategy, and the power of long-term vision over the fleeting rush of instant success. This philosophy defines her tenure, one centered on nurturing the human being behind the superstar. White has spoken repeatedly and almost prophetically, with calm precision about managing Clark's workload, shielding her from burnout, and shaping her evolution for the seasons ahead. Even before the first tip-off, she warned of the dangers of overexposure. of letting fame outpace development. She stressed the absolute necessity of strategic rest, controlled minutes, and sufficient recovery amid a relentless schedule. Every word was deliberate, every measure designed for sustainability.